Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well and you are enjoying the series so far. So in the last video, we wrapped up the entire front end of our MVP using the UI development plan, and it took me under 20 minutes to wrap up the entire front end. It may not be the best so far, but it will really get the job done out there. But if you are not happy with the front end that you build, I'll recommend spending few more hours onto it by implementing some techniques that we discussed about, like taking some components from 21st dev and then bringing them inside Bolt, scrolling through Dribble and screenshotting the components that you really like and then asking Bolt to implement them for you, or even adding some 3D visuals by asking ideogram to create some images that would go well with your platform and then implementing them. I was also thinking that maybe in week 3 or week 4 I can do a bonus video where I'll polish the entire front end in front of you guys using all of these techniques, but that is something which is not the highest priority for now, because the highest priority for now is to launch this MVP in the market. And if you are able to achieve a UI UX of this level, you are good to go. So, as that is out of the way, let's dive into what we will be doing today, and that is the backend. And this is where the fun part begins. So, after a lot of thinking, about whether I should take the entire code base into Windsurf and build the backend there, or shall I continue building the backend inside Bolt, I decided that let's stick to Bolt for now, because we are going to have a lot of beginners in the community, and Windsurf or Cursor could be really overwhelming for these beginners. So let's stick to Bolt, start implementing the backend. And if I think we are not able to proceed, as Bolt tends to get stuck on complex functionalities, that is when we will export the code inside Windsurf and we can build rest of the backend there. So if that sounds good, let's proceed. So now is the time to do some planning again. Yes, when it comes to AI coding, we have to do a lot of planning. So what I want you to do is I want you to open the chat which you had opened with ChatGPT previously regarding the MVP. So the plan is to have this conversation throughout the life cycle of your MVP, and even later when you market it, you are going to use this chat only, because this is going to have all of the context regarding your MVP. So it will help you a lot, throughout the life cycle of your product. So I was trying out multiple techniques in order to implement the backend in the easiest way. And after doing that, this is the easiest approach that I found. As you can see, I have already prompted ChatGPT, and I did the planning part before this video because I was trying to look for the best way. So let me just walk you through each and every one of these prompts, and later on I will attach these prompts in the description after improving them, so that this would become more of a plug and play situation for you guys, where you will just be able to use these prompts into your existing chat and plug and play your MVP parts so that you can plan the backend better. So let's proceed. So I opened the chat and then I asked ChatGPT is that I have the entire front end ready according to the UI development plan, and could you please draft an implementation plan for the entire backend, ensuring that you follow the UI flow that we have in the UI development plan, and list should be such that if I go through it entirely, then the entire MVP would be implemented before you draft this implementation plan. Could you please ask me if you have any questions like tech stack or anything? So this is a prompt. I'll refine it and put it down in the resources section. So after doing this, these are some of the questions that ChatGPT asked me. It asked me if I'm using Supabase. It asked me what AI services do I want to use, which is going to be GPT-4o and Whisper API. And for the backend, we are going to use Supabase Edge functions. For payment integration, we are going to use Stripe definitely. We do have Bolt Supabase connector, so we will be using that only. So I just replied to it. I told it that we are using Supabase, and yes, the AI services that it recommended are correct, and we will be using Supabase Edge functions for the backend. We will be using Stripe, and as Bolt comes out with native integration with Supabase, so that is how we will connect to Supabase as well. So once that is done, it just gave me a brief of what I said. And also, I asked if it requires the latest UI development plan and MVP plan, even though it is not really required, but I like updating the knowledge of the model with the latest documents that we have, so that it always gives us the latest up-to-date information. So once that is done, I just pasted the MVP plan as well as the UI development plan. And then it gave me this document with the entire DB design as well as these edge functions that we will be having. Now, once this is out there, you can go through this and you can make it better, or if you think that something is missing, then you can work on that. Now, what I recommend is having the database design and the implementation plan separately, because right now all of these line items that it has given us is not really easy for the AI to follow. So we need an implementation plan where we have a checklist so AI could go through the implementation plan and keep on taking off the line items as it completes them. Also, you have to make the DB design better. So after this, I just asked it to share the full database design in a separate file. Also, in this database design, it did not give me any support for Stripe. So that is what I told it, that we also have Stripe integration. So please update the DB design accordingly. After that, I had the entire DB design ready. So as you can see, we have the users table, we have the brain dump table, the AI outputs table, focus sessions, weekly reviews, Stripe subscriptions, and it also gave me all of the relationships between them, also some information regarding RLS. So once this is done, you have reviewed the DB design plan, you can just copy it and paste it inside a Google document, because later on you are going to use it inside Bolt in order to create the entire database design inside Superbase. After this, I just asked it to give me an implementation plan. The front end is already complete, so focus only on the backend setup. Make sure it aligns with the UI development plan, MVP scope, and the database design. Format it cleanly for easy copy pasting into a Google Doc. This should feel like a checklist that once completed results in a fully functional MVP. After I gave it this prompt, it gave me the entire backend implementation checklist. So as you can see, we have Superbase setup, which includes authentication and database in section 1. We have authentication. We have all of the database table setup. Once that is done, it is also setting up RLS security policies. After that, we are coming to Superbase Edge functions. So this is the AI output generation, voice transcription. This is the feature regarding weekly review generator. And then section 3, we have the entire Stripe setup. So go through this backend implementation plan, spend some time on it. If you think that something is missing, make it better. And after that, you have to implement both of these plans, which is the DB design as well as the backend implementation plan, in the next few hours before you proceed inside Bolt. So, yep. Okay, so for the weekly review generator, I saw that it did not mention the email integration, but I do want it such that on every 7th day, the client receives an email with the entire review. So that is what I did. And I just asked it to, update the implementation plan, and then it gave me the updated backend implementation checklist. So yeah, so once you are done with this, by the end of this phase, you will have both backend implementation checklist as well as a database design. And now you are good to go and start implementing the backend inside Bolt. Okay, so now you have all of the documents ready. Now it's time to, start building the backend inside Bolt. So what I want you to do is you have to take the database design, copy it, paste it inside Bolt, and then ask it to save it as .md file inside the root directory. Could you please save the above database design as dbdesign.md file inside the root directory? Let's go. Now it will proceed with saving it inside the root directory. Next, what you have to do is you have to go into the backend implementation checklist, copy it, and bring that inside this as well. So as you can see, it saved the database design. Now let me save the implementation plan as well. And I just realized that I did not save the MVP plan. So let's proceed with saving that as well. All right. So whether you are using Cursor or Windsurf or Bolt, this is the thing that you have to always do. You have to save all of these documents inside the root directory so that you could refer to them throughout development. The above MVP inside the root directory. Let's save the MVP plan.md file as well. And we are good to proceed now. Okay, so let me check if everything is done. We have the MVP plan, we have the implementation plan, and we have the DB design plan as well. Now it's time to start setting up the database, the authentication, etc. according to the implementation plan. So inside of implementation plan, we have authentication as the first thing. So let's do that. Please go through the implementation plan.md file and start implementing every feature one by one. For now, I want you to start with section 1, authentication. Please give me the entire plan that you will be taking in order to complete this feature. This is what I like doing. Instead of asking Bolt to directly start implementing, I always click on the discuss mode. I ask it to, give me an approach that it will be taking, review it, and if you like the plan, only then ask it to implement it. So let me do that and let's see what plan it comes up with. Enable email password auth in Superbase, extend the user's table, enforce row level security, add RLS policy. Great. Let me just click on this implementation authentication button now, and it will proceed with implementing the entire authentication. I guess I'll also have to connect to Superbase because I did not do that before. Let me see. Okay, I'll do that after this. Let it first, set up the authentication. Okay, so it has done already, and now everything, and now it is asking me to, connect to Superbase. Let me do that. If you haven't connected to Superbase, it will ask you to, so you can just log into your Superbase account, and after that, you will see the screen where you can create a new project. Let me name this brain dump. Okay, great. Let me put in a password, and this does not really matter for now, but let me choose this for now, and let it create the entire project. Okay, so now it is going through the Superbase account and it is doing everything for us. So it's amazing that how easy it has become to set up Superbase. It also created this Superbase migration inside which we have only the users table for now, because that is what we had inside the implementation plan for authentication. After this, what we are going to do is we are going it to analyze the database design.md file and create our entire backend. And with just a single prompt, you will have the entire database design ready with all of the tables set up and all of the relationships built amongst them. So, let me proceed with apply changes and let's see what happens. In the meantime, let me also open up Superbase so that we could see what exactly is happening. Okay, so here is brain dump. Let's see the table editor. Okay, we already have the users table because it just applied the migration, right? Database migration has been applied. Okay, so now I will ask it to go through the dbdesign.md file. Please go through the dbdesign.md file and then cross-check with the MVP plan.md file. And please let me know if this db design is enough for our entire MVP. So I am just asking Bolt in the discuss mode if it thinks that our database design is enough for the entire, and it's okay to cross check inside Bolt once. The more time you spend on cross checking, lower errors you will get in the future. Okay, let me click on discuss and let's see what it says. If it says yes, that you are good to proceed, then we will just implement it and it will create a Superbase migration file and it will create the entire backend. Okay, let's proceed with, now let me ask it to implement the database design. Okay, now please implement the entire database schema inside Superbase according to dbdesign.md file. Also, okay, so let's proceed and see the magic. And if you guys are beginners and you haven't coded, at all before, then let me tell you that this is like crazy. Before we had to create all of these files yourself. We did not even have ChatGPT, so we had to, learn SQL, learn how to create relationships between these tables. Then we had to go inside Superbase, create these tables. It used to be so much work, and now it is as simple as prompting Bolt to do it for you. It's amazing what we have achieved in the past few years. And as you can see, it created a Superbase migration file. These are all of the new tables. It also enabled RLS. So basically this is the security side of things, so that not anyone can access your tables on the internet, It also added the foreign key constants. Let me click on apply changes. Let's see if everything works well. It is saying that it created the core tables. Let me check the DB design. Okay, as we can see, we have all of the tables. Great. Let me show you the visual of this entire schema. So as you can see, these are all of the tables and this is how they're connected with one another. So we already have authentication setup as well as the backend setup. Let me try authentication part. Okay, I'll sign up with this. Let's see what happens when I create account. Okay, so nothing happened. Let me check what happens inside the console log. Okay, so it is still submitting it into console log. I think it has worked on the authentication, but it did not connect it to our sign up form. So let me ask it to do that. Could you please ensure that authentication is set up and users are able to sign up as well as log in via the components that we have built? Ensure everything works well. And okay, let's see what it says. Okay, so I was right. It did not implement authentication. It just created the logic, but it did not really, attach the backend with the front end. So let it do that for us. And then we will try testing. And now it is saying that the authentication flow is now fully functional. Users can sign up, users can log in, users can request password reset links. Protected routes will redirect to login. Session persistence is handled automatically. Okay, great. So by protected routes, it means that a lot of places, for example, our dashboard, those are something where users who haven't logged into our platform won't be able to access. So it has already taken care of that. Okay, so let me try signing up. This is the password for now. Let me click on create account. Okay, so I was redirected to this place. Let me check if it did create an account or not. Let me go to authentication. And yep, as you can see, we have this setup already. We were able to log in. Let me also check the table once. Inside table, we had users table, right? So inside this also we have this. Is pro false? See, as we haven't upgraded to Stripe yet, so by default it is showing it as false. Okay, let me check if logout functionality is working. Yeah, so logout is not working. Let me ask it to add logout functionality. Currently, logout is not working. Could you please ensure that it works well? Also, I want to have a consistent head across the platform with auth integration. It should allow logout, navigation between pages, and update based on the user's auth status. So what I did right now is I just asked Bolt to implement the logout functionality, and I also asked it to create a consistent header throughout the platform such that if the user is logged in and they go onto the landing page, they don't see the login or sign up option. They only see dashboard option or maybe the settings option or logout option. So this is really important that you update your header on the basis of the authentication status of the user, because we have to do a conditional rendering such that out user sees a certain header and the logged in user sees a different header. So that is what I just did. Let me show you what exactly it did. Okay, now header will appear consistently across all the authenticated routes. So as you can as you can see, it updated the header, and now we have this updated header with access to all of the pages that we built. Would really need some tinkering in order to make it look better, but yep, we also are able to fetch the name of the logged in person, and when I click on logout, I am also able to log out. Okay, great. Let me go to the landing page. Okay, here is the logout page. One more thing that I want to do is I want to ensure that the header on the landing page is also consistent. So let me do that. Could you please ensure that the header on the landing page also changes on the basis of the authentication status of the logged in user? Okay, so now it is updating the navbar component to change based on the authentication status. And once this is done, we will have a consistent header which also take care of the authentication status of the user, so that the values on the header changes according to the authentication status of the logged in user. Okay, so as you can see, this navbar now uses the use auth hook to access authentication state. Let me try logging in now. Okay, we are logged in. I can see my name here. Click. Here also, as you can see, we are not seeing login or sign up anymore. We are seeing logout and dashboard. So, yep. So yeah, now once this is done, we are already done with the entire database setup as well as authentication, and it took me like 10 minutes. So pretty amazing times. So let's proceed with the implementation plan. Now I want you to go through the implementation plan.md file and let me know what feature we should implement next. We are already done with authentication and database setup. Let me open the discuss mode and let's click on enter. Let me also open the implementation plan for once. Authentication is done. Database design is done. Next is edge functions. Okay, now we have to create these Superbase edge functions. Okay, so the front end for this is already done and is accessible at /dashboard. Now I want you to create this edge function so that the entire thing works well. Could you please give me an action plan before proceeding? Feel free to ask me any questions if you have. Also, let me know what to expect at the end of this implementation and what would be next according to the implementation plan. Okay, so I think that it is now going to give me the implementation approach, for building this part, basically generate AI output. So what would happen is it would be triggered on new dump submission, and using OpenAI GPT-4o, it will generate 2-3 insights, and it will also generate categorized to-dos, and it will save output to AI outputs. So let's see the plan. Okay, create this, install OpenAI SDK, implement function logic, set up the environmental variables for the OpenAI secret key, test the function, update dashboard home component. After implementing this plan, submitting a new brain dump from the dashboard will trigger the edge function, which will then use the OpenAI API to generate insights and to-dos. Okay, great. So this is going to implement our main functionality right now. So whenever I go onto the dashboard and I do a dump, it will go to GPT and it will come back to me with insights as well as this to-do list. So let's see and let's proceed with the implementation. Please proceed with the implementation. Okay, and just like that, it was done. Let me check what exactly did it do. This is really important when you are letting AI do stuff for you. You have to go through everything that it is telling you that it has already implemented and ensure that all of that is working. Okay, it has created the edge function. To use this function, you will need to set up the following environmental variables in your Superbase project. Update the front end to call this function. Let me paste the open AI key because that is what it is asking me for. And then it is also asking to update the front end to call this function. The above is the OpenAI API key. Please use that and also update the front end to call this function. At the end of this, I want this functionality to work properly and then we will proceed with focus timer flow. And trust me, guys, I mean, if you're not talking to the camera and doing it yourself, then it is much easier. Thinking out loud while explaining Bolt and doing all of the things in the backend is not that simple. So yeah, this is the first series, but you can expect these quality of the videos to go up significantly in the future videos. If you have any questions or if something does not make sense, feel free to ask me in the community and I'll answer each and every one of you guys. Thank you for your patience so much. So yeah, let's see what it is doing. I'll help you update the front end to integrate with the edge function and make the print up. Let's update. Okay. Yeah, guys, so it has implemented everything. But what I just realized is it is not like Lovable because Lovable comes out of integration with OpenAI. So pasting the OpenAI API key here did not do anything. So what I will have to do is I will have to go inside Superbase, inside Edge functions, and from here you will have to click on secrets. As you can see, we already have some secrets configured, right? So this is the place where you have to store your OpenAI key as well. Let me see the name that it is using. This is the key. Let me copy it and let me paste it here and then let's save. Now we have the OpenAI API key inside Superbase, and now whenever we try to do a functionality which uses the OpenAI API key, it will come into Superbase, it will go to this place and it will try to find the value which is configured for this name. So now that is done. Let's test this. For testing it, it is asking me to go to dashboard and create a new brain dump by typing in the text area. Okay. So I have been thinking a lot about creating videos for the community and have been overwhelmed. I'm not sure where to begin, where to start, but things are going really well. I already have 500 plus signups and I'm going to launch this community tomorrow. Just spoke something that came to my mind. Let's see what happens. Dump it. Okay, so there was a problem. Let me check. Okay. You can either discuss the problem or you can attempt fix. Let me do discuss problems. This is very common when it comes to coding. Even in the past, there used to be so many errors when you did not have access to this AI. But at that time, you had to manually go inside the code and look for everything that is wrong, etc., and then fix it yourself. But now you have AI to help you. And even if you see errors sometimes, please don't be overwhelmed. This is really normal when it comes to coding, and it is just the part of the process. Let me click on fix this bug. Okay, so now it is going through it and it is trying to fix the error on the basis of the plan that it gave. At the same time, what you can do is you can also go to the functions, and this is the function, and you can go to invocations. From here, you will be able to see all of the logs for this particular edge function. So as you can see, when I click on this, it gave me these details. So if the error does not get resolved right now, I'll just copy it and I'll paste it inside Bolt and I'll let it know that this is the error that I got on the Superbase logs and to fix it. Okay, so right now it is updating it. Let it implement the fix that it suggested, and if it does not work, then we will provide this logs. I am happy that all of these errors are popping up right now because this is something that you are going to face in the future and you have to learn all of this. On the internet, people show that vibe coding is super straightforward. You just have to prompt the AI and it will do stuff for you. But this is the reality, and that is what I am exactly taking you through right now. So yeah, let me test it once again, and if it does not work, we already have the plan. Okay, this is not required. Hello, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. Let me just do anything, dump it. Let's see what happens. Okay, failed to fetch. Let me check the problem. It is the same error as below, as previous. So let me just, copy this error that we got and paste it inside Bolt. This is the error log that I got inside the Superbase edge function. Could you please go through it and let me know what you think the error is and then give me an implementation plan in order to fix this entire error so that functionality works well. Let's go on discuss mode. So let's discuss with it. Okay, so it went through it. The plan update the OpenAI import. Okay. Okay, so it was using the previous version as I can see, which is now deprecated. Update OpenAI initialization, deploy the updated edge function. Sounds good, and this makes sense as well. I have seen that Bolt does not always, fetch the latest information for the documentation, and that is why I prefer doing, AI integration inside Windsurf and Cursor or even Lovable, because Lovable also comes with native integration with OpenAI. But yeah, no worries. This is something that is really going to teach you how to wipe code, and in the future, whenever you are stuck on an error, you will know all the stuff that you can do in order to fix that bug. Yeah. So let me just click on fix this bug, and let's hope that it fixes the error, because the approach that it suggested, that is totally correct. As you can see, it occurred because it was trying to use older version of the OpenAI package. Okay, so it just implemented the fix. So now let's go and hope everything works well. So I have been feeling a bit overwhelmed since the past few days because I have had a lot on my plate, like posting content on Twitter, making videos for YouTube for my private community, as well as hiring for my agency, scaling the agency, etc. So that is why I have been worrying and have been anxious a lot. Okay, so this is some brain dump that I just did. Let me click on dump it. Let's see if it works. I hope it works. Oh, great. Something happened. Let me see. Okay, this is my brain dump. What we notice, the person is feeling overwhelmed due to managing multiple concurrent tasks and responsibilities. Okay, great. The anxiety stems from both professional demands and personal expectations. Great. Here's what you can act on. Prioritize tasks to identify the most urgent and important work. Delegate or outsource some of the workload. Create a scalable plan for agency. Set aside time for relaxation, reflect on personal expectations. Okay, that is great. Is the edit button working for now? Nope, it is not, because we did not implement it. Okay, great. So it is finally working. And as you can see, this is what it takes in order to build the backend. This is something that is going to happen all the time, no matter how smart the AI becomes. Bugs are going to be there, and you have to learn, how to debug these bugs. So just follow the strategies that I did, and you will be good to go. Other than this, what happens is over time you realize that these are the errors that AI will always throw. So next time, for example, if I am implementing a functionality similar to this, I'll ensure that I already tell the first prompt about all of these things that could go wrong, so that it does not mess things up in the first go. So yeah, now this is done. Let me ask it to go through the implementation plan and let me know what to implement next. Could you please go through the implementation plan.md file and let me know what to implement next? Also, give me a detailed approach that you will be taking in order to implement that. Also, guys, one other thing that I wanted to mention was, for now, I did not really review the prompt that it is sending to ChatGPT in order to create this response. What you have to do is you have to go through these prompts, you have to refine them, you have to make them better. And for example, it is saying that this person. So what I could have done is I could have fetched the name of the logged in user, and I could have sent it inside the ChatGPT prompt, so that instead of calling me a person, it would have taken my name, which is Prajwal. So these are the things that you can do right now. Or later on, when we get into Windsurf, maybe I'll show you how you can edit these prompts, etc. Because there it becomes really easy to do all of this stuff and also optimize things, etc. So yeah, we already have the plan, and according to the implementation plan, the next thing is a transcribe voice.ts edge function. Okay, it will implement voice recording. Okay, it is going to call the Whisper API. Great. Implement voice recording in the front end. Okay, update brain stable, update the UI. Let me now click on implement this plan and let's see what it does. So basically what will happen is, whenever someone clicks on the speak your thoughts button, they will be able to talk everything out, because speaking is much faster as compared to, writing everything down. Then that would be taken to Whisper AI API and it would be transcribed, and then the normal flow would be taken, which is, getting to ChatGPT and getting the insights and the to-dos. So let's see if it is able to, integrate Whisper API properly. Okay, so it did all of this. It created this edge function. It created a use voice recording hook. This. Implementation supports one-click voice recording, real-time recording status to test the voice recording. Okay, so now it has given me the steps using which I could test it. So let me see. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, so let me go ahead and test this functionality out. Let me go to dashboard. And this is the brain dump from last time. It is now even able to fetch everything from the database. That is great. Let me click on speak your thoughts. Hello, hi everyone. I'm Rajwal and I am currently building Braindump in public. And the goal is to teach everyone how exactly I build it so that they could follow my exact workflows and build MVPs for themselves. I don't think anything happened. Let me check the console log. So, yeah, whenever something does not happen, does not work, this is what you have to do. Okay, so let me open the console log. Let me try it once more. Let's see. Hello, hello, hi everyone, how you doing? Okay, so as you can see, nothing is happening. So let me tell Bolt exactly this, that when I click on speak your thoughts, even though it looks like it is wanting me to speak something, but nothing happens after that. So when I click on speak your thoughts button on the dashboard and then I click on stop, nothing is happening. No request is even being made to the edge function. Could you please ensure if the front end is calling the edge function that you just created? I'm loving this so far. I mean, this is something that no one is teaching you out there, and they just tell you this idea that is super easy to vibe code these projects. But this is what goes, while building these products. So I'm so glad that I did not really plan this video out, and now you could just see me, go through everything, each and every error, how I fix it. And this is the biggest thing that you have to learn when it comes to vibe coding or even coding in general, that how exactly to debug issues. So let's see what it is doing. I noticed the issue. We need to properly handle the audio blob and make the request to the edge function. See, it already found the issue. Let me update the dashboard home component. Okay, great. Let me also go to the edge functions and open the transcribe voice edge function. As you can see, it wasn't even invoked when we clicked on that button. So it means the edge function might be working, but it was not really integrated with the front end. Go to dashboard. Let me click on speaker. Hey everyone, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Hey guys, so sorry. So I got a call and I had to really hop onto it as it was urgent. So yep, I am back. So in the last part, I just clicked on speak your thoughts and it transcribed everything and then it generated the insights. But there was an error where I was not able to see the to-dos. So what I did is I just went ahead and I asked it why can I not see the to-dos, and then it just proceeded with fixing this error. Other than this, something else that was happening was whenever I clicked on speak your thoughts, it used to transcribe everything and then it sent my transcribed text directly into OpenAI and then got back to me with the insights as well as the to-dos. But that is not what we want. What I wanted was whenever I speak my thoughts, they should first be populated inside this input so that the user could proceed and make some changes. And then when they click on dump it, only then it is sent to OpenAI. So that is what I did. And now this is how it is working like. Hi everyone, I hope you are doing well. Last few days have been really busy as I have been working on all of the community videos as well as my agency clients, and also have to launch this community in the next few days and also have to start taking spots for the agency. So yep, I just clicked on stop speaking. It is now transcribing my voice and okay, it filled everything here. And now I can just go ahead and update it something like so all good or something like this. Let me click on dump it and it is now turning my thoughts into something useful. And let's see. This is from previous. Okay, so it is now 2:26 p.m. as you can see, this is the brain dump that I just did, and it gave me the insights as well as the to-do list. So yup, as you can see, this is how you start implementing the backend. So feel free to follow the video. Have all of these plans inside Bolt before you proceed. And I also showed you my exact process of debugging these errors. Debugging is something that is going to be really useful in the future as well. And I'm glad that this product broke and I was able to show you that. So yeah, now what you have to do is you just have to keep on going through the implementation plan. So as you can see, I completed the feature number 2. I'll now go on to 3 and then 4, and one by one, I'll just complete this entire implementation plan. And by the end, I'll have the entire MVP ready. So instead of recording everything, this would make the video really long. What I'll do is I'll just go through all of this feature list. I'll keep on implementing. And if I find something which I think would be useful to you guys, I'll record that and share that in the next video. So in the next video, I'll meet you with the finalized product, inside Bolt. And in the next video, we will learn how to export that code into Windsurf and then implement any features if pending, and also optimize the entire code base, do some polishing, and get it ready for deployment onto Vercel so that you can start testing the product. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you are enjoying the series so far. Super excited for what's next, because once the series end, that is when the real fun is going to begin, because you guys will be eligible for the build in public challenge, and all of us will be building in public, sharing the updates inside the community on Twitter. And the plan is to, get a lot of engagement on Twitter, get in front of potential clients, customers, etc. So all of that fun stuff is coming up really soon. Thank you for watching the series. I'll see you next time. Hi. So this is my second time recording this wrap-up video inside Bolt, because the first time I forgot to connect my mic. But yeah, here we go again. So what has been happening is I went through the entire implementation plan, implementing the features one by one. There were errors, and for fixing those errors, I took the same approach that I showed before, going to the console logs, going into the edge functions, taking the logs from there, and then pasting that back into Bolt, and then asking Bolt to fix it. And after a lot of back and forth, I was finally able to get the entire MVP up and running. Now came the part for integrating Stripe. And in order to integrate Stripe, I was thinking whether I should take the approach that we take here at the agency, which is, start from scratch, or at max a boilerplate code, and then use Cursor or Windsurf in order to complete the integration. But I thought that as majority of the people here inside in the community are beginners, and I want this launch series to be catered to all of these people. So that is why I thought, let's go ahead with the Stripe integration that Bolt has come up with last week. And this was the first time I was trying it out, and I was able to get it right on the first try only. And to be honest, it has made things much simpler for us now. Integrating Stripe used to be really overwhelming for beginners, but Bolt has done a great job in taking this barrier down. Still, there would be things that you will have to understand as a beginner, and I plan to do a detailed video on Stripe integration. But for now, this should be enough for you and for your use case. And later on, if you want, I can do a detailed video on Stripe integration, walk you through everything that is required in order to get a secure Stripe integration. So yeah, when I was finally on the Stripe integration, what I did is I just asked it to, give me a plan on the basis of the implementation plan in order to integrate Stripe into our MVP, and it gave me this plan. So as you can see, it told me that I have to create a product which will have pricing for month and yearly, and all of this information is being gathered from my MVP plan and the implementation plan. So the first thing that you will have to do is you will have to go inside your Stripe account, you'll have to create a new environment, and from there you can set up a new product. So as you can see, this is the Brindum Pro product, and then you can just create this pricing. So one is the 8 USD one, which is recurring, and the other one is the yearly one, where we are offering discounts to our users. So let me see how to add the pricing. So if you click on this plus button, from here you will be able to, set up pricing. So for example, I click on 8, this is monthly, and you can click it, you can make it recurring or one-off, but definitely it is going to be recurring. And then similarly, you can set it up for the yearly one as well on the basis of your use case. So yeah, once that is done, what you have to do is you just have to click on this Stripe thing button, and then you have to set up your API key. In order to get your API key, you can just click on, you can just write API here, and from here you can get the secret key, and then you can paste it here. And when you paste it here, you will be able to click on retrieve my products, and on doing that, Stripe will take all of the products that you currently have. So for example, right now I have this single product, Brindum Pro, and inside this I have two prices, that is the $8 one and the $70 one. And then you can just click on apply selection, and Bolt will start doing its thing and integrate Stripe for you. So yeah, this is the plan that it gave me. If you want, you can go through it, you can review it, and you can update it according to your use case. So let me show you when I clicked on that button to, implement Stripe integration. So yeah, when I clicked on that button, this is what it said. And then it just started, integrated Stripe into the MVP. So as you can see, it created multiple edge functions. It created a edge function for webhook, for checkout, etc. And it did a pretty good job in the first try only, because everything was set up. When I checked the backend, it was working well. The only thing that it missed was, it did not connect the front end to the backend. So that is why when users clicked on upgrade, it did nothing. So that is what I did. I just told Bolt. So yeah, as you can see, I just told Bolt that please ensure that from the slash upgrade page, the users are able to upgrade, and also ensure that all of the tables are updated. So yeah, you can go through the prompt yourself. So what it did is it just connected the backend to the front end. There were few more errors, but Bolt was able to fix them itself without me providing the context. And once that was done, I was able to, buy the pro plan. So if you go to the billing section, you will be able to see that I was able to buy the pro plan for Braindump. Now the thing is, this was just the logic in order to subscribe to the plan, but there are a lot of other things as well when it comes to Stripe integration, like billing management, checking the past invoices, canceling your plan, etc. And I tried doing that inside Bolt, but it was taking a lot of time, so I just stopped. But you can do that. Otherwise, you can wait for the video that I'll be launching in a week or two, where I'll walk you through the entire process of integrating Stripe into your platform. So yeah, pretty much it. I just used the techniques that I told you guys in the beginning in order to integrate all of the features inside Bolt only. Now, what I want you to do is complete 70 to 80% of the MVP in the Bolt. If you are a beginner, you are going to face a lot of errors, but this is the time where you learn how to check the logs and how to make sense out of the logs, get that inside Bolt so that Bolt can fix them for you. What After this session, what I'll personally recommend is using Windsurf. But as we have a lot of beginners, I wanted to keep it a little beginner friendly, and that is why I implemented the entire MVP inside Bolt. But if you are building something complex, then the chances are high that you will have to get inside Windsurf, because inside Bolt you don't have other features like accessing the code base properly, making changes manually, having access to the internet, attaching documentation. And also the context awareness of Bolt is much lesser as compared to Cursor or Windsurf. So that is why you will have to go into Windsurf. But for this launch series, I wanted to keep it simple so that maximum of you could make sense out of the series and start building a product. But what I plan to do is I'll also do in-depth videos on using Windsurf or Cursor so that you could start building your products using techniques like MCP, Taskmaster, etc. In the launch series, this is what we are doing. But yup, stay tuned. In the next few weeks, I'm going to launch another series, where we'll be setting up the MVP inside Bolt, and then we'll be pulling that project inside Windsurf and building the majority of the MVP there. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And each other out. I hope you are already following the series and have already started building your landing pages and started implementing your backend. Thank you for watching, and now I'll meet you inside Windsurf in the next video. Thank you.